Today our topic is the science of habits, how to make good ones stick. Life is a series of habits. What you do every day, the small choices you make, shapes who you are and where you are going. But habits are tricky. Some are easy to form, like scrolling through your phone or hitting snooze on the alarm. Others, like exercising regularly or eating healthy, seem impossible to stick to. Why is that? And more importantly, how can we make good habits stick? Let's talk about the science behind habits and how you can use it to build a better life. First, let's understand what a habit is. A habit is a behavior that you do automatically, without thinking too much about it. It's like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes. You don't need to plan it, you just do it. Habits are formed in a part of your brain called the basal ganglia. This part of the brain is responsible for routine behaviors, and it helps you save mental energy. Think about it. If you had to think deeply about every little action you take, you'd be exhausted by noon. Habits free up your mind to focus on more important things. But here's the catch. Your brain doesn't care if a habit is good or bad. It just cares about efficiency. If a behavior helps you survive or feel good in the moment, your brain will try to make it automatic. That's why bad habits, like eating junk food or procrastinating, are so easy to form. They give you instant pleasure or relief. Good habits, on the other hand, often require effort and don't always give immediate rewards. So, how do we trick our brains into making good habits stick? Science has some answers. The first step is understanding the habit loop. Every habit has three parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is what triggers the habit. It could be a time of day, a place, or an emotion. The routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is what you get out of it. For example, let's say you have a habit of eating a cookie every afternoon. The cue might be feeling bored at 3 p.m. The routine is eating the cookie, and the reward is the burst of energy and pleasure you feel. To change a habit, you need to keep the same cue and reward, but change the routine. Instead of eating a cookie, you could go for a walk or drink a glass of water. Over time, your brain will start to associate the cue with the new routine, and the habit will change. The key to making good habits stick is to start small. Many people fail because they try to change too much, too fast. If you want to start exercising, don't commit to an hour at the gym every day. Start with 5 minutes of stretching or a short walk. The goal is to make the behavior so easy that you can't say no. Once the habit is established, you can gradually increase the difficulty. This is called the tiny habits approach, and it works because it builds momentum. Small wins lead to bigger wins. Another important factor is consistency. Habits are formed through repetition. The more you do something, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain become. That's why it's important to practice your new habit every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Missing a day here and there won't ruin your progress, but try to stay as consistent as possible. Some people find it helpful to tie their new habit to an existing one. For example, if you want to start meditating, do it right after brushing your teeth in the morning. This is called habit stacking, and it makes it easier to remember your new habit. Environment also plays a huge role in habit formation. If you want to eat healthier, make sure your kitchen is stocked with healthy foods. If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand. On the other hand, if you're trying to break a bad habit, remove the cues from your environment. If you want to stop snacking on chips, don't buy them in the first place. Out of sight, out of mind. Your surroundings have a big impact on your behavior, so design them to support your goals. One of the biggest challenges in forming good habits is dealing with setbacks. No one is perfect, and there will be times when you slip up. The important thing is not to let one mistake derail your progress. Instead of beating yourself up, focus on getting back on track as soon as possible. Remember, habits are not about perfection, they're about persistence. Every time you choose the good habit over the bad one, you're strengthening your willpower and making it easier to stick to your goals in the future. Another powerful tool for building good habits is tracking your progress. Writing down your actions or using an app to monitor your habits can help you stay accountable. When you see how far you've come, it motivates you to keep going. Plus, tracking helps you identify patterns and adjust your approach if something isn't working. For example, if you notice that you're more likely to exercise in the morning than in the evening, you can schedule your workouts accordingly. It's also important to celebrate your successes, no matter how small. Rewards reinforce the habit loop and make you more likely to repeat the behavior. The reward doesn't have to be big. It could be as simple as giving yourself a high five or enjoying a favorite song after completing your habit. The key is to make the reward immediate and satisfying. Over time, the habit itself will become its own reward as you start to see the positive changes in your life. One thing to keep in mind is that habits take time to form. There is a popular myth that it takes 21 days to form a habit, but research shows that it can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days, depending on the person and the habit. The important thing is to be patient and keep going, even if you don't see results right away. Remember, you're not just building a habit, you're building a new identity. Every time you choose the good habit, you're telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who does this. Over time, that belief becomes stronger, and the habit becomes a natural part of who you are. Finally, let's talk about the role of mindset in habit formation. A growth mindset, which is the belief that you can improve through effort, is essential for building good habits. If you believe that you're capable of change, you're more likely to stick with it, even when it's hard. On the other hand, a fixed mindset, which is the belief that your abilities are set in stone, can hold you back. If you think I'm just not a morning person, you're less likely to succeed at forming a morning routine. The truth is, you can become a morning person or any kind of persona if you're willing to put in the work. In conclusion, the science of habits is a powerful tool for creating the life you want. By understanding how habits work and using strategies like starting small, staying consistent, and designing your environment, you can make good habits stick. It won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. Remember, every habit you build is a step toward becoming the best version of yourself. So, take it one day at a time, and don't be afraid to celebrate your progress along the way. Life is a journey, and good habits are the path that leads to a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling destination.